A good evening, this is Tenez the Human, and welcome back to our Roman Western Empire campaign, and you join us outside Salona and indeed Aquincum, where last time the perfidious Eastern Empire stamped us in the back. Betrayal. Absolute betrayal. And now I was expecting it, but quite this early in the game, oh, that's a bit harsh, lads, that's a bit harsh. I'm sure that they need to be worrying about a load of hordes, but no, apparently not. Apparently not. So unfortunately, we've now got this to deal with. Salona is pretty well reinforced. We did send some of our troops over from Syracuse, which is a little bit unhappy, but not too much. The rebellions indeed seem very much under control these days. But yes, as for these lads, we're going to have to do a couple of sallies to start off our day here. Unfortunately, the Eastern Empire do have better troops than us. They have the longer range, the very nicely armoured Eastern archers. They have the Lanciari, which are quite lovely. Oh, they're just better in general. We're going to have to work this one out. So this will be an interesting thing. Luckily for us, we have mostly sorted out our other problems. Christianity is strong through the Empire, and whilst you can still see a few of the Western Empire rebel boats around, well, there's only one of their cities left. Now, of course, last time we did have a slight issue with this lad who somehow escaped from the jaws of defeat. I don't know how he would have managed to lose that battle. In fairness, there was no way we could have won, but we almost did. But sadly, I don't know. Bit of a redemption arc for our fair general there, who once disgraced us at Tarraco, but at least he went down fighting on this occasion, although technically he did rout just before he was killed. Anyway, the historians may or may not remember that detail, but it looks like he is heading towards Salamantica, and well, we're going to keep a close eye on him, because rather than deal with that army, we might just swing down south. I've got a boat here on the coast, and yes, we'll come and maybe pick him up. And if we want to come pick him up, then great, we'll swing over to Faconova and see if we can just take that out. As few troops as possible. To be honest, we could even potentially start using some mercs, because look at that, 6,000 a turn. That's what I started this turn with. 6,000 is expected to come in. Lovely stuff. Now, Christianity, these are Christians, so they've been spreading Christianity in these towns. Salamantica we haven't quite converted yet, but mostly it's working out. Tingi, of course, we are defending against the Berbers, as well as over here in Carthage, but things are not looking too bad, you know. So I would say things are looking very positive. We'll get Placus the Horseman on his boat. A little bit of danger here, because apparently we can't land in Cornwall, but we'll send him round. Looks like he's going to be safe enough to come over here and land in Samarabriva. And well, I'll send the army there. I'll probably send him back over to Londinium, because I think it's his job just to look after Britannia. As for the rest of this, well, it looks like the barbarians along here have started to take up all the rebel territories. We might have to deal with them in time, but at least we've dealt with the internal problems. We've started to build an economy, and yes, stone walls at Vicus Alamenae. Good timing for that. So yes, probably should be doing that over here in Agrippina as well. Gonna build these sewers, which I think I cancelled last turn in order to retrain at Aquincum, which we are also going to restock with some cavalry by the way. We'll get those moving after we've dealt with this. So let's sally forth and let's clear these guys out. What exactly do they have, you ask? I don't know. What do they have? 1 Eastern Archers, a couple Comitatenses and 4 Limitane. Okay, I think we'll be alright. Let's head out. As you might well expect, we've run out of the city, and we've largely so far been using our superior amount of archers to shoot down theirs, but it's time to get some lads around the back and start clearing them out properly, because to be honest, I don't really want these archers shooting forever. They're throwing in their javelins. That's fine by me. We can start, yes, start to hit them in the rear, which probably is just going to immediately start the mass route that we're really looking for. So there we go. There's the mass route. Cavalry is going to start mopping up all of that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Archers, shoot down those Comitatenses. They haven't broken just yet, so we'll just try and shoot them as much as we can in the back. The thunder crackles as victory falls upon the, well, the decent people, the decent Romans who didn't stab the others in the back. Right, we're just going to slam into them. I was hoping that's more of a side swipe than a frontal swipe, but it turns out to be a bit of both. But largely, the battle has ended before it even begun. We're going to stop shooting around men now, because yes, indeed, the battle is over. A clear victory, if ever there was one. Back to the campaign screen we go, and with that, I suspect that leaves Aquincum fairly safe in the short term. Superior Commander, that is great news. Yes, so he is a pagan, but in rude health, famously courageous. Oh yes, he's going to be a good man to defend this town. We'll just spend the money we've got retraining. That's what it was left over for. And Salona into there now. Now this army is much bigger. Quite a lot of cavalry, and we don't have the cavalry this time. So yeah, we've got to use the walls more to advantage on this occasion. No siege equipment from them. I would quite like them to come and attack, but we'll see if we can do a bit of damage with the poke, because they don't have archer support. We're going to keep it tight, and we should hopefully be okay with this cavalry. Let it in. Now immediately they are doing what usually the barbarians do, which is go and run towards a corner rather than any particular position back. I mean, it's not that far downhill, so I'm not sure why they're doing that. But you know what, it kind of works for me, because it means that we can have a good attempt at poking some of these in the back while they're trying to get into formation. So the Imitani don't really know what they're doing. You, my good sir, hit them. You, my good sir, hit them. You, my good sir, hit them. And a good hit on a Limitani or two is normally enough to get a good rout. Oh, you swung into them as well. Okay, fine. Get yourselves back out of there, my good sirs. Poke, but strangely, on Limitane, not doing the routing. Thought it might, but apparently not. So turn around, give them another smash, and to be honest, I should probably just rearrange and get myself into those Eastern Archers. So yes, you guys go and do that. Hit those Eastern Archers, because the Limitani apparently are in the middle of breaking today, which is very strange. Okay, at this point we're getting very close to where they've decided to gather, but we've got a charge on their Eastern Archers, who are doing a great job of running away, quite frankly. They are now charging us. We've got the route. You are about to go crazy and flee, so actually, no. Actually, General, you can do a little bit more. A little bit more, General. Come and smash up these archers, get the Eastern Archers dealt with. They are coming back for more, so that's what you want to continue doing. Take them out, and I feel a lot more relaxed about this. Yeah, that's fine. Still on these guys. Okay, they're now broken. Good. We're very close. Let's just pull them a little bit out. Well, I don't know what these cavalry are doing. They're running around like madmen. But I'm quite happy to get these guys out of there. They'll break. The general is still eager, and he's happy to continue. Okay, you chase those guys off the field. Oh, they're going to get themselves shot, aren't they? You know what? This is all right. This is a good start. A good little poke. Go onto those Eastern Archers. Make sure they're dealt with. If they want to follow this cavalry around, they're welcome to. Well, at least the Eastern Archers have been mostly eaten up at this point. That is exactly what we want to do to start with. Who are you guys? I forget these guys even exist. The Scolae Palatinae. Okay, the Emperor's Palace Bodyguards. Very nice. Okay, well, we seem to have largely dealt with... Oh, there goes the charge. Seem to have largely dealt with them, he says, as they decide to smash into us. Fine, we're going to run around this hill, because apparently they now want to kill us. So let's lead them on a little chase, shall we? I mean, they're quicker than me, and they're going to be fresher than me, but we'll try it anyway. Obviously, they are catching me, but I'm trying as much as possible to lead them towards the towers, where our archers should be running into position to try and get themselves onto this part of the wall, because it looks like we're going to end up quite near to this part of the battlefield. Okay, comitatenses are now on their way as well. They are hitting the back of my general now, but they are well in range of this tower at this point. And that should be quite good for us. Do you want to be here in front of these towers? If you do, you're a bit mad, but I like your style. Okay, all infantry. We did have a formation in idea here, but don't do that, General. That's a great way of getting yourself killed. Okay. You can hear the towers going crazy now, and whilst we have just about been caught, now is a good time to get caught, because the comitatenses are here. And turn around and blow the horn of destiny, my good sir. We've now got their general surrounded, which is perfect. Okay, it's not been an orthodox battle so far, but we've taken out the general, and things are going all right. Well, with our men shuffled along the sides of the wall then and the archers up there, I think we are ready to make some kind of a move. Obviously, ideally we want to lure them in like we did with the general, but we'll just have to see about all of that. In we charge, and we'll just see if we can get a break or two, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get a reaction. They're definitely going to throw some javelins in, but that aside, let's not worry about that. Smashity, smashity! And with that, okay, we've got some breaks. Those guys are broken as well. Not a surprise, they took a massive pile of javelins. But can we get them to move after us, to chase us, get towards our arrow fire? Not at the moment, but we'll just go for another charge and see what we can do. They're just going to waste all their javelins at this point, aren't they? Okay, bit of a shame we can't lure them in any further. But, oh, do they want to do it? They're throwing those javelins a long way. That's a good throw. You actually dodged most of those, though. Only a couple of them got caught. So, good job, my sirs. Good job. Now, any chance? Oh, oh, bit of a dodge. Little bit of a dodge. Not a complete one. Okay. Unfortunately, they're just not getting pulled into the archer range. This guy might, though. That's the area. We do. Oh, yeah, they have a good range for there. Okay. How is this going to go for them? Not well, I'm assuming. Is that going to pull the rest in? It might do. Oh, they are taking heavy casualties, and they are now routing. That's what we want to see. Okay. Right. You. Well, can you mop them up? Probably not. They're now going to run in. They're going to run into archer fire. They're going to run into javelin fire. And these guys are going to fire their missiles. General, just charge. You, get behind the line. Okay, you're in the back of the Lancieri. Now just get behind the lines, because that's not really a fight you want to get stuck in for too long, my good sir. Okay, with that, let's get back behind the lines and do a bit of fighting. They're breaking as soon as they hit us. That's good news indeed. We absolutely slaughter them from up here. Few javelins landing on us. This general's taken a hit or two, I suspect. I think he's probably quite low on hit points at this point. But it'll be fine for now. Get yourselves back in position. Arrows are flying in. We just want more of this, really. More of the same. More pulling them into archer range, because that, yeah, is going to be their slaughter. Now, of course, we are actually in range with our archers, and this is excellent news. We free them down here. We can start to pull them in. Two of them still up there. This should hopefully do what we want. If they want to stand there and take it, I'm quite happy with that scenario. Send a Busolari up here. They have terrible range, but if things fall into range, then I guess they can take a few shots as well. For now, it seems like they're just happy taking the pot shots, and you know what? That's fine by me. Well, the last few volleys then of the archers go. The second set of units come down off the walls, and I think there's nothing more doing here, ladies and gents, so this is going to have to be a sally that ends here. We'll grab our units, we'll head back into the city, and from there, I think, assuming they don't charge us on the old retreat here, I think we'll have to come and sally another day. Well, the narrator man wants to have a go in a very American way about draws not being acceptable. Well, I'm afraid we have draws occasionally, my good sir. On this occasion, I would say it's very much a victory. It's a small victory. It's not the total victory, but 9% lost to 42%. The Eastern Archer's gone. It's just the cavalry that's preventing me from making my leap. But to be honest, they don't have enough to take this city. I don't think they did before. But it's a good poke. We'll take it. Well, a new turn, and it's time to sally forth and finish these guys off. Nothing too interesting in the end turn, to be honest. But yes, these guys definitely need to go down. Well, this has gone a very similar way to last time. We've taken out a fair few of them on the way. The cavalry somewhat demolished, but, you know, they did a good job of clearing out a good pile of corpses en route. One unit of cavalry getting shot by the walls, being utter fools. But aside from that, yeah, it's just going to come down to some shooting. I suspect once we've shot enough of the infantry, the cavalry will probably just run away. I'm a little bit concerned the cavalry can cause a lot of problems. But we'll just get shooting. We'll keep shuffling forward if we need to. And I suspect we know how this goes. At long last, after doing virtually nothing with the arrows in the end, we do have some movement from them, and it does include a charge from the cavalry, which is interesting. That's going to do a lot of work. Let's get the other guys in the rear. Okay, cavalry have done what I thought they might do. That's why you guys need to come into the back of them. Good, they're broken. They are broken. These Limitani are charging at those cavalry 4v3. It's almost fair, except they're cavalry, and you're going to get slaughtered. Right, General, just start running after them. We won't catch any of those cav, but we can at least try and shoot them or something as they flee. Okay, yeah, all archers on this unit, which is still fighting. That's probably a good idea. They've just got smashed. At least way too many men at this final stage of the battle, but quite happy for that, to be honest. Their cavalry is coming back in, which I'm slightly surprised about, to be honest, but we'll take it. My general's going to get himself in a chunky affair. I'm quite happy with that situation. Infantry, keep pushing forward. And the more of them we can take out, the better, to be honest. I think we've absolutely got them at this point. Some of the archers are running out of men. But, yeah, that's fine. He's gone as well. Chase them down, lads. Chase them down. It is just a couple units regrouping who technically mean we haven't won the battle yet. But to be honest, the battle is as good as done. Well, after a couple very, very tedious battles from my point of view, the day is ours, says Squeaky Narrator Man. Lovely stuff. It's quite a good view up here, to be fair, but it's not a view that many of these lads will be seen any longer. As some of you may well have noticed, Valentinianus the Raffle is still our Augustus at the ripe old nice age of 69. Somehow he's still alive, and, well, at the start of the game we did talk about how Leonidas Flavius here is his faction heir, but I'm not sure that 53 that he's necessarily the best choice at this point. Now, he will lose some influence for me taking this off him, but you know what? I think he would give a nod to the greatest man that is coming through in this empire. And to be honest, I haven't really talked about him apart from the very first 5 minutes or so, and that's Decimus Flavius, who is an exceptional human being, a good, honest Roman Christian, of course, very lively. We haven't really made much use of those movement points yet. Don't worry, as you can see in Rome, we're building some nice troops. It's very much one of the best places for us to be building troops. Fond of ribbart rhyme, superior trader. Oh yes, a scriptorium in Rome definitely has been a good education for this man. And you know what, ladies and gents? Yes, this guy should be our new faction heir. So, you, my good sir, you are now the Caesar. Oh, very, very nice indeed. Some extra personal security, probably not a bad idea. And it is the Magister Scliniae, which basically is something. +2 loyalty, probably going to be important considering he is our new faction heir. So, there we are. That's a very, very important move for the Empire. Shame for the lad in Ravenna, but too bad for him. Now, what's also too bad is that this guy hasn't really made up his mind of where he's attacking. He probably could have reached any of these 3 towns by now if he'd bothered, but he didn't. So, in we go. And on this occasion, we're not going to worry about night battles, no, because we want to pull them in. There are 2 of them now, which is a bit irritating, but we do have 2 of our own. So, Marcellus Flavius, bloody in the pink, a Roman hero. Oh yes, this guy is, for a pagan, pretty magnificent himself. If he weren't a pagan, he would definitely have a chance. Although, to be honest, look at that mug of a face. I would be letting him be my king. But anyway, let's head into battle. He's a pretty darn good general. And I think this could be glorious. This could be the end of the rebellion. I actually completely forgot that this was a bridge battle, but of course it is. Luckily for us, they are not going to guard the bridge. The city in the distance there. Why do they always do this? They always do this. They decide we can swim, so we're going to swim. No, no, no. No. That is not what we do here. So get out of the water and cross over the sensible way. You're right there. Right, let's just get these infantry across as well. Get them lined up in front of the bridge. This is just ridiculous. There are so many little things on Barbarian Invasion that I find mildly irritating. This is one of them. Right, let's just charge into these peasants. We shouldn't lose any hit points for dealing with them. But we will get everyone to just get themselves over the bridge. Charge yourselves over. Good, that's a rout. Lovely stuff. Nice start for us. They are refusing to do this any way other than cross the water, which is going to knacker them, by the way, and also take them far, far too long. We need them to mop up the rest of this nonsense. Oh well, it is what it is. The reinforcements are not going to arrive in particularly good time. I would like some mopping up duties to be taken on right now, but it is what it is. You, my good sir, get out of there. No need to get too stuck in the melee. We need some hit points for the general later. Let's just get the infantry in here. Into that position. Thank you very much. Get yourselves here now. Thank you. See, they're warmed up. Wasting their energy. Utter fools. As this peasant unit seems to want to attack us, we'll give it a good old poke. Now, what I really would have liked, is for my infantry to take on these guys. Get my... yeah, exactly. Right, we have time. We have time to do it. Really, my cavalry should be taking out their peasants and should be catching them. So let's just use them for that purpose. That is kind of the point. Their general is thundering in at us. Wow, that's quick. His own troops are going to take the charge. Okay, what are we doing at this stage? These guys are... oh, these guys are fighting. I did not realise that had happened. Okay, get all of these guys into that general. Look how quick they're flying in. And with that, yeah, get him into there as well. We're just going to chop these guys down. It's just whatever it is at this point. Infantry onto guard. They just don't have the attack to do anything to these generals, unfortunately. But the enemy army is routing. That's the original army, I believe. Get on top of that general. We have double general on this guy. That's fine. 32. You start running. Catch after him. Do not let him escape like before. Enemy general is fallen. I think that is that guy there. Okay, generals into him. If we kill them both here, that should... no, there's still one left. There's still one left. But good charge into those guys. Not enough. Chase after the peasants. Don't let them escape. Same with you. Just run after them. We'll let the generals take care of this at this stage. The infantry's done its job. And mostly we seem to have got this done. Okay, peasants are trying to intercept us in a slightly pathetic attempt. We'll see what we can deal with. Down to the general. And 7 of them left. I think we got this. We have experience on our side here. He is the peasant slayer, as we know. And that's giving him about 5 experience. General is running away. How is he getting away? That is actually crazy. Foederati infantry, if you'd like to turn around and deal with him, that would be quite funny. You, go in that direction. Oh, there's the general. We just missed him again. Missed him again. I'm hoping that it wasn't this guy who died, it was the other guy. But because they've both got the big banner, I don't know which one's the true general of this battle. So it might be that this guy's already dead. I actually can't tell. Let me have a look. No, that's the guy. That is the guy. We got to catch him. We got to catch him. Get on top of him. Don't let him through. They'd let him through. Why do you do this every time? Pathetic. Ah, gotta go deal with him in the city once more now. Well, at least I put him under siege, but there we go. Clearly won the battle. Useless. Useless, these cavalry. Let me down time and time again. Look at that mug. I bet your name is Steve. Right. Sorry to any Steves listening. They're all Steves here. Okay. Imperial. Well, we gained some experience, but not as clean as it could have been. Damn it. On a new turn, then, we're going to get our troops back over to Colonia Agrippina. These are the veterans from the Britannia/Celtic campaign. We've got Placus the Horseman back in Londinium now, and he's a young man. He's still got time to go off on his horse once more. A harsh ruler, they say. Low tax rate here, though, to be fair, so he's a little bit more chill perhaps these days. We'll get some more peasants into his new army. And indeed, we've got ourselves a few bits and bobs. Proconsul's Palace. We did have a little bit more money at the start of this end turn, or the start of this new turn, I should say. But we got a couple of those to build. But quite frankly, the economy is in excellent shape. Up to 12,000 next time. I mean, we're even managing to build Legion Barracks over here on the borders. So I'm quite happy with this. Yes, Legion Barracks on both of them. So up to committed tenses. And on that note, that is something we really wanted to do at Rome. We wanted to save up for the army barracks either there or in Ravenna, or both potentially, because it would be very, very nice to get a little bit more out of that. Where are you, by the way? Oh, the spy in Ravenna. Yes, you were supposed to go wander off into the distance. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on those chaps. no more signs of the Eastern Empire right now. We've got time to consolidate and rebuild. We are a bit short on cav, but we are stocking those a little bit. We've got the horse archers coming in that direction, which, to be honest, is more of an offensive unit, but we'll get to that in time. More to the point, though, Carthage Nova, honestly, the gates are open. The general is basically down to nothing, so we'll just march on in, exterminate, and we'll have to go deal with this guy still, apparently. But, at the very least, important, the revolt has been suppressed. The false and traitorous fools who called themselves Romans have been put to the sword and destroyed. Such a fate is only just for the men who dare to raise a hand against imperial authority. But what happened is they saw the new faction there, and they immediately decided that it was over. They knew that the day to change had come. Now, this is entirely Christian. They've actually built this up very nicely with a hermitage as well. Thank you very much. One of the great advantages, to be honest, of the rebels is by smashing up some of the infrastructure, like the barracks, for example, you stop them from having things like, good troops. But they do tend to spend some money on infrastructure, so if you give them a few turns, like we did there, they actually build things up quite nicely. So we're going to go build our army barracks. Hippodrome there. Now, actually, do we have Circus Maximus? Now, we can already... Yeah, that's what we just faced, wasn't it, before? We can already get the horse archers. Do we want those? Honestly, I think the Summation Auxiliary will probably do the job, but it is kind of nice to be able to get more of those sort of troops. We're going to get them here as well. I think double army barracks. We think we've earned this now. And some of these other places, things like highways. Now we've got a bit of spare money. Yeah, we're just going to get the highway system built up. And I've got a lot of the important things I want built at this stage. So let's start putting some money into moving our troops around, because our economy is looking strong surprisingly quickly, to be honest. I wasn't really expecting it quite so soon, but things going pretty well. I will get myself on market. It's not that good at Tarentum, but you know what, a spy, getting some spies across is not a bad idea either. We have spent our money. We do have a siege at Carthage. This is just the remnants of last time. Excellent news. Okay, there are actually some troops, so we might need to invest in something over here to get some, at least commit attendances. We'll spend some money in Carthage next turn. We're still going to have 12,000 apparently, which is actually insane, but there we are. Right, this guy over here, this pagan lad, he's been very, very good for me, and I'd like him to continue his adventures. Now, Arles and Massilia are my two pagan towns, and they currently do have some pagans in there. Cassius the Lily-Livered, very, very influential. He can do what the hell he wants. And likewise with him, Publius Flavius has done a great job. So, I'm quite happy for him to continue ruling a pagan town for a bit longer. But unfortunately for him, he's still being Christianized now. Now, Salamantica is still pagan, apparently. I don't know... Aha, right, it has actually converted. So, that is something that I'm going to have to change right now, sadly for them, and that makes them a lot happier overnight. So yeah, no pagan town for you there. Maybe Britain. Maybe that's where I need to send him. I tell you what, these guys do still have a battle or two left to face. We do need to send... Yeah, these are both pagan actually, aren't they? They are indeed. Well, maybe what we need to do with these guys is send them out on campaign. They need to go and finish off this man. The other chap, whatever his name was, Coward the Forgettable, he was obviously slaughtered. We still need to mop up this army. So yeah, how about we are going to send you... Should we send him to Tarraco? I tell you what, we'll spend a turn or two sorting ourselves out. We don't obviously have the military infrastructure here, but there are still potentially some troops around. Was it Avaricum? I've already sent those in other directions. Okay. We'll have to figure out what we're doing about him, but I'm not too worried. I don't think he's going to be aggressive. He's now just a plain rebel, not a Western Roman rebel. So need to bear that in mind. And my spy's been doing excellent work, by the way. Summation Diplomat. Keep yourself practiced, my good sir. Let's make sure that people we don't like, such as the Summations, aren't doing anything. Oh, by the way, on that note, Sarmatians are now a horde, from what I heard. No? They've taken it back. Interesting. I'm sure I read that they were a horde and the Huns had taken a territory, but maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe they took it back. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting completely befuddled. But I haven't heard much from the hordes, and I really need to start knowing something. So I'm a bit concerned about that guy over there. I think that's where the spy really needs to go, actually. Maybe go there first. And when we got a little bit more money again, I did go a bit trigger happy with the old roads. Maybe we'll just cancel one road and we'll get back to that next turn. But I could do with a couple spies just to head out to this eastern part of the world. We don't really have the infrastructure to check what's going on. I need to know what's going on with the hordes, because I'm kind of confused the fact that, yeah, Sarmatians and the Goths are still around. And I haven't really seen many wars. I have seen a war between the two hordes. So maybe that's cancelled each other out. Maybe I've got lucky in that regard. Okay, things looking very good indeed. We'll end the term and we'll see what happens. Well, at this point, things are starting to come together very, very nicely. Highways over here in Aquincum, as well as our new barracks for committed tenses. Oh, just lovely. I would rather have the Mithras Temple just to help with experience, but I'm not going to demolish it right now just for that. I think a few more key bits of infrastructure we're going to build first. Salona, likewise, not far from finishing its building works, which is excellent, excellent news. We have ourselves plenty of new things being built, actually. Over in Carthage, yes, lovely, some walls. Over in Syracuse, an academy. Oh, grand. Temple of Mithras, we will, on this occasion, get the next level. Only because I'm not normally building up the pagan temples, because we will one day destroy them. But we'll leave that one. That one's, Syracuse is a bit of a strange kind of anomaly. Summon a Breather. Okay, continue the highways. That's magnificent. And Salamantica has a Christian shrine. We'll continue with the paved roads. We can grab them in this part of the world too. So plenty of money that can just casually be spent. That's beautiful. Marcellus Flavius. Now that's nice. He manages to get himself married. Hopefully she's not a peasant because she'll soon be dead if so. But that's good. One of our good generals getting married, and maybe he can teach his sons how to be Christian. That would very much suit me. Okay, Mr. Spy, you can continue to keep an eye on this guy, see where he's going, and otherwise, to be honest, aside from this little bit in Carthage here, things are going okay. We're one turn away from building the Imperial Palace. They do have two generals this time, so I'm intrigued to see if they go into attack. No siege equipment just yet. We have enough to try and defend that, but could start to get sticky if we're not careful. So I think we're going to need to start building. Yeah, actually, maybe building that over here would be a good plan. I tell you what, Salamantica, I'm going to go for a slightly cheaper option, 1,200. Maybe we can build a chapel for you. Maybe we can build that. We can build yourself a chapel. There we go. Okay, thing you can do with, I suspect, yeah, just building up its ability to get some good troops. We just need to go and finish off the Berbers. If we're going to keep poking us like this, I don't really want them around, so we'll clear them out. But other than that, things are strangely calm. Strangely calm. It feels like crisis. What crisis? It's all kind of been solved already. The economy's looking good. Christianity is pretty much everywhere, apart from a few select towns. You know, we have Britain, we have these two, we have these on the borders, and we have Syracuse, but to be honest, they're not causing problems. They're all quite relaxed. We've got ourselves pagan leaders there. And I know someone in the comments is saying, you know, the best way to play this is to not be all out for one religion. I think it's helpful to kind of build in, have a choice in mind in general. But absolutely, have some, you can't necessarily control your generals. So let's keep what pagan guys we have in the pagan towns and let the Christians take over the rest of it. But in general, okay, we're going to move him up north. Oh, yes, of course, because the most Christian man who ever Christianed has done a nice job over there in that part of the world. He's been converting Burdigala. He's done that. And now, yeah, it's time for him to move over to Vicus Alamani, which is actually one of the other pagan settlements. But, quite frankly, we could probably convert it very quickly indeed when he goes there. And when we demolish the building, I suspect they'll be unhappy for a turn or two, but it will probably be absolutely fine. For some reason, a faction leader still decides to live. Don't actually have a problem with that. He's a very good general, but a little bit surprising, to say the least. Okay, you're moving in there. We do have ourselves an assassin to go deal with their assassin, because I'm a little bit uneasy about him still existing. It's not really how I like assassins, to be honest. I like them dead. So, yeah, you go off and check on the hordes, because I want to know what's happening with them. And you go and check out what's happening at Sirmium. This time, we're going to be a little bit more built up when they arrive, and I suspect it's not going to go very well for them, because before long, the counterattack will be coming. Well, when it comes down to it, Carthage is not going to be the easiest place to defend. They do have 2 generals. Not an awful lot of infantry, but we frankly don't have an awful lot either. Let's hope the walls and their archers can do the job, because they don't have an awful lot of siege equipment. Well, lots and lots of javelins being tossed down by my Limitane. Pretty decent normally, but feels like a bit of a long way for it. Flaming arrows coming out of the towers now. Not sure how useful that's going to be. Well, the ballistas stopped. I don't think they've got an angle for their ballista now. That's good, because it did an awful lot of damage to these guys. Berber Axemen, they're their stronger unit, so let's make sure we're shooting into them. To be honest, the main thing, to be honest, are these 2 desert chieftains. Actually, I thought the ballistas would do more, but I think just the angle they've gone for has made this a little bit slower than it could have been. So I'm actually not too displeased about that. And the tower's going to turn up pretty much in the place of my Foederati, which is about as ideal as it gets. Without taking the walls, the cavalry can't do anything. So I don't think we need to worry too much about all of those guys, because I don't think they're going to take this wall. Well, the wall fighting has been going on for a little while, and to be honest, the hillmen have done surprisingly good amount of work, considering only 50 of them at the start. The archers shooting in the side has certainly helped the battle, even if I did shoot a few of my own men in the process. Looks like, though, the Foederati are going to finish this off. Archers still got half their missiles. Don't think we'll be needing them, because that general isn't going to be able to climb up here at this rate. Battle's pretty much going to end before they've actually managed to really achieve anything. And there's the clear victory. They lost all their infantry, and the game just finishes off. Lovely stuff. Vandals and Sarmatians are at war. Interesting. Not an awful lot seemingly going on in that part of the world, so we might start to finally get some answers to all of that in a turn or two. The guys are pretty close. 75%. I'm not in the mood. Not in the mood for that risk right now. But they have some troops, but nothing too elite, to be honest. What is a little bit more elite is this fleet down here. Bit upsetting. Not going anywhere anytime soon with that floating around. Now, I'd quite like to do is send a sneaky force around at some point, possibly this new force with what will be the faction leader very, very soon. We are trying to get some elite forces together. In fact, on that note, yes, we're not far off now. 2 turns from some more elite things. Most advanced factions of the Eastern Empire was us last turn, weirdly. So, in some ways, we can celebrate that particular message, because it basically means that we were once very, very good. Okay, what do we want here? We definitely want more units. I'm just going to get more archers, because that will essentially do the job. They have half-decent cavalry, the Berbers, but the infantry is so bad, we'll just shoot them down before they even arrive. Ah! There they come! I just went out to go and lay some watchtowers. To be honest, you're welcome to it. I don't really want this town. It's terrible. And we can't really build anything here anyway. So, do I want to bother? I'm not sure I want to bother. We'll just, what will be with this place, to be honest. If they take it, we'll just take it back when we're ready. If anything, that works out okay. So we'll leave that one. But other than that, yeah, we'll get our forces together for the Berbers. We are sending our men up to Tarraco. We've got a few troops kind of on their way, just odd units here or there. Should be enough if we gather it together. Another Limitane just for numbers, to be honest. A few important things being built, like Massilia. I'm sure this port would be alright, but it could be better if I'm honest. But we'll go for the general infrastructure of the roads. The road system's already done over there as well. I lined that one up already. And yes, lots of these other roads are now also complete, so probably worth Just checking in which of these will be worth the most. The Londinium, by the way, the Londinium dockyards are worth like 700 or something insane. So, okay, we'll flick through. We'll see what else is worth to be built right now. Because, yeah, the Eastern Empire are coming for a second go by the looks of it. Well, as we end our turn, a couple little notes of interest. Number one, the, yes, Burgundii are slowly closing in on Campus Frissi, which is so far held out. But, I mean, they'd be very stretched thin, wouldn't they? But it would leave the Saxons in an interesting position. It might be quite a good thing because it might prevent the Saxons from getting ideas about their stations and attacking me. And they might just see that the Burgundii look kind of weak. But I do keep lopping off heads if I see them. This guy is getting very good, by the way. What is he up to now? 8? It's very hard to read how many that is, but yes, 8 now. Lovely stuff. So yes, he just picked up the poisoner. The other thing of interest as we end the turn is, because Anamani, I've just gone and sent the Christian man over here. Now, it is 100% pagan right now, but you can see it's 65% conversion now that I've demolished the pagan temple and I've put him in charge. So this will be very, very interesting. Very interesting indeed to see just how powerful the one man is on the end turn there. But they're happy enough anyway because it's mostly been massacred. So we'll end our turn. We'll see what happens. But at the moment, just building up the infrastructure before, yes, the Eastern Empire come for a second bite of the cherry. Interesting, our spy can see the Sarmatian territory and the Vandals have been pushed back again. This does happen sometimes once they start getting all that gold experience. Yeah, they just can't knock it down, and that is quite amusing, frankly. There are some of the Vandals on that side. What about the Huns? Weren't they also involved somewhere? Don't know where they are, but that's certainly interesting. That fleet is starting to bother me because it's starting to blockade key places, which is going to start crippling my money. So Carthage, though, is building a proper dockyard to get some, yes, high quality boats, and that very much is the plan going forward. But for now, we don't have that option. We just can't control the seas. We will, though, continue to build up a very strong force of elite troops with silver, sword and shield. We do have the full-on foundry here, so Rome, oh yeah, we're going to continue building out of there. Same with Ravenna. We can actually get Palatina here, so we'll do the same thing over there. Apart from that, what was the key thing we need to do this turn, you ask? Well, what we need to do is, yes, go and deal with this force, because they are what we need to go and finish off, ladies and gents. Alright, we got those peasants, we got the rebel leader. Now, there are a few other things before we get to that. We'll finish with that. We are under siege on Ipsis Magna. A bit of a shame because he actually has some very nice retinue, even if Drill Master is pretty awful. And he's a gloomy chap, which isn't going to help us in this battle at all. This corner of the world is very much going to be given up. So I'm sorry for your sacrifice, Titus Flavius, but you are, I'm afraid, very much going to die. I don't think we're going to be able to hold on to that, so we might have to start next time with that. But there we are. Ravenna and Rome with the highways, which are going to create such a ridiculous amount of money. It's actually obscene. Likewise, most of the highways at this point are now being complete. Even London seems to have a nice road in it. So let's go and head over to this nonsense. I will point out that over in Tingi we can now hire our committenses. So we're just about with our Summation Auxilia ready to go and push into that territory. I might, though, just get a spy from Carthage just to head on forward and just see what's going on. But I don't think there's going to be too much over there. So let's head in. Actually gone through quite a lot of turns in this episode. Things have settled down a fair amount, but let's just go and tie up some loose ends. And I think this is the most important one of them all. Yes, Eugenius Marco. I respect you, my good sir, but I respect you more when you're dead. Well, immediately we have ourselves an interesting battlefield because there is a hill just over there and they haven't taken it immediately, which does give me the opportunity to shuffle along and take it for myself, the rebellious fools. I'll be honest, I feel a little bit dirty calling the rebels out like that. I'll be honest, I respect them. They've done a pretty good job, these guys. But they do need to go down, and unfortunately we're just wasting arrows on peasants right now. They are literally arrow fodder. let's not worry about that too much longer. Let's just race on forward. Get into a position. That's a little bit more tasty. Okay, what can we hit now? Mercenary Veterinary. You caused me many, many sad heartaches in that last battle. I'll be honest. I'd very much like for you to go down. So let's just keep shuffling. And with the shuffle, we'll eventually gun your death. Okay, so archers are now shooting once more, this time shooting into the sides of these guys. Now, what are they going to do? They're not looking like they're doing anything right now. But that warlord looking awfully weak next to my two guys. Oh yeah, these guys know how to fight. As the death shuffle continues, we can now have a shot on the chosen warlord, which may not be the best idea actually. We're going to shoot at the Morris Mercs because these guys really upset me last time. Let's just throw javelins in. They're going to charge in a little bit. Let's get these cavalry out to that flank. General, yeah, get yourself over here actually. Pile straight into those guys. They need to go down. Just shoot the general. Shoot the general since he's over there. No need to run away. You just go over there. Good. Those cavalry were pretty slow to get into position, but we're going to clear them out anyway. You guys get around that flank. Looks like they're all melting like the proverbial cheese, and it's been a while since we've used that line here, so let's get on with that. Yes, it's a mass rout. That's what we want to see. That's what we should be seeing with all these peasants and all of these rebels. Okay. All cav, convene on the general. Don't worry about chasing them down. They're not important. You can chase them down. I don't worry about you. Right, lovely stuff. Make sure he goes down. He's been a good adversary, but I think it's only fitting that we close the chapter on the rebels. I think at this stage we very much just need to make sure that they've been dealt with. He is still fighting quite manfully, by the way. Maybe these peasants should be dealt with. He's running away after all that. After all that, that's how you behave. I mean, that's how you lived in the first place, isn't it, Thomas? Indeed it is. So, a few more shots probably coming in because the archers are supposed to be shooting at him, to be fair. Who is actually still fighting, by the way? One unit of Veterinarii at the rear. Fine. You, my good sirs, he doesn't get away with this time. I know the rebel generals generally tend to just die, but yeah, you need to make sure you get on top of him this time. Oh, he's all the way back there. Fair enough. He's gone. Eugenius Marco. Yeah, it's a votive game. As a true enemy is gone to join his ancestors. May he trouble. Oi! I was reading that, you good numpty. May he trouble them as much as he did us. Indeed, indeed, a noble foe has died this day. We will bury him properly. I think he has earned it. But I'm happy to see the back of him nonetheless. Victory and glory. Well, that's the kind of victory we all needed to see at the end of this, ladies and gentlemen. 748 kills there, 68. Overkill with the army? No. Never. We had to show Eugenius true respect, and that we did. We'll merge those forces together. I'll be honest, what am I going to do with them? I suspect we could spread a few out, because we are a little bit thin across Spain, but yeah, then the Mitanni can stay behind and they can do that job. But we'll send the rest of Carthage over, and we'll send them in the boat over to Carthage. We could do some reinforcements for when we have to go and deal with the Eastern Empire over here. So that at least will tie up those troops kind of nicely. So yes, Limatane, can you get moving? You can potentially move just a tiny bit. So we'll just get them moving so that I remember what I am doing. You over to Taraco. You, my good sir, actually... You over to Salamantica, and the rest of us, we're going to head down to Carthage Nova, and you can obviously go into that town when you get there. Perfect, perfect, perfect. The spy is there, he's 51. It's fine, you can jump on the boat already, that way you'll already be with us. There's another spy with us. Great, these guys have been around for the whole campaign. So, Spain has been reunified at long last. The rebels have been dealt with. Turncoat slave. I'd like to think that he brought over Eugenius. We pretended that we killed him, but really we just brought him over to our side. That's how convincing Marcellus Flavius is. A true Roman hero, no less. Dislikes the Christian cultists. All right, my good sir, don't get too extreme, otherwise we'll lop your head off. But for now, we'll accept him. You know what? It's been a bit of a strange episode for me, really. After the first few episodes of intense turns, constantly we need to go deal with that boat. Maybe we'll get another one built over here. I think we'll do that immediately. If I can ever learn how to click, we've got stronger boats here. We'll just get a trireme. That will do the job because it's just a couple. I think that's what's left of the Gauls, to be honest. Or the Celts, I should say. Yes, the first few episodes are obviously very high intensity. But at this point, things are settled down quite a lot. Yes, we're just getting this Christianity conversion done over here. That will be converted next time. But yeah, it was a very, very quick fire. And now it's slowed down a bit. We are, apart from these blockades, our economy is very strong now. And it means that we're pretty much able to build what we want to in most of the towns where we really need it. So, was it Burdigala that needed a new palace? Right, I'm just going to make sure I find the money for that next turn. But realistically, we're going very well indeed. We are, though, building the proper dockyards to build the high-quality boats, the quinqueremes that we'll need. Yes, you see, they've got at least one, so we will have to start putting some of our money aside for that in Carthage. I don't know how many troops we'll be able to get there. We'll have to send some from Spain, as I said. But we will need to start sending forces over along this way to slowly poke at the Eastern Empire. I am, though, of course, gathering some very elite forces over in Rome. And Ravenna will probably help the Eastern Front. But Rome, no, we've got a special trip for them when these boats have conquered a little bit more control of the sea. But for now, I will leave you. I'm Thomas. This is Consolidating, and this has been our Western Roman Empire campaign. Thank you. And bye-bye. Send in the camels, those shiny, smelly camels. Oh, the anarchy loosed upon the world, apart from over here where we're kind of routed. Stupidity got us into this mess. Stupidity will get us out of it, damn it. We will have a last stand at some point. But it's not today.